Hey guys, and welcome back to the KLR brake build. This is going to be part 3. This is my setup that I'm currently running, and I am 100% so satisfied with this. I highly recommend you do this setup if you're looking for better performance. Now, you will have to do a 320mm upgrade on your wheel, and then this relocation bracket is made by Eagle Mics. I'll turn the forks around here. We'll take a closer look at it. Hey guys, Beast checking in. And what we're looking at is I'm just checking the adapter kit for the Suzuki SV650 caliper for the KLR from Eagle Mics. If you guys watched the channel, you know that I had a horrendous issue with the one off eBay. Don't recommend that at all. The Eagle Mics the bracket is perfectly straight. We're looking at the wear. Wear is nice and even on these pads. This thing stops on a dime. Really good brake feeling on this thing. No issues whatsoever, fully loaded with gear. As you saw, I did have an overheat issue coming down the Rattlesnake Ridge in California. That's to be expected, I suppose. That has nothing to do with the caliper or the kit, really. One thing I wanted to change out that I never got to was, I don't know if you can see, there's a little clip in there that holds this pin that basically keeps your brake pads in. Because these weren't really designed for off-roading, there was a horror story of a guy who lost that pin and then didn't have any front brakes because his pads fell out down on the trail. So we're just going to safety wire that in there so there's no pin to fall out, or at least maybe safety wire the pin in there, and we'll be good to go. I think the only thing I'm going to look for is the actual mounting hardware is getting a little rusted. It's not really, I don't really care aesthetically, but I don't want to start corroding or anything like that. So. And make it really hard to get off. So I might try to just run to the hardware store and see if I can pick up a stainless version of this. But Eagle Mics rolling strong at 6,000 miles. No issues whatsoever. Fantastic upgrade to the KLR 650. Alright, got that little clip out. As you can see, I mean, it stayed in there pretty good. But I suppose it could rattle out. So we got it safety wired. Got it all back on there. I'm going to run to the hardware store, see if we can find some stainless bolts, and we'll be good to go. I'll let you guys know how it performs. But hardware, top notch, everything about it, materials, so much nicer than the other kits that you saw in part 2. Have had zero issues. What this kit does is it allows you to use a Suzuki SV650 series. And this is their, I want to say Gen 1. This is around 2000s. I believe this is a 2003 left side caliper, because I believe the SVs have twin setup on each side. But what this is giving you is it's giving you a twin piston caliper. So the pads are much larger. We'll take a look at those in a second. And so you're increasing the service area, so you're increasing the braking. I'm still running the stock KLR master cylinder. However, this is actually off of Gen 2 if you're watching some of the videos of the build. But I don't think there's any improvement over the Gen 1 to Gen 2 of the KLR. So I'm running the stock master cylinder with the SV setup. And man, oh man, is this a terrific setup. Absolutely top notch. Gives you so much confidence when you're carrying a KLR full of gear and you're pulling the twisties, or you have an emergency braking situation. Stock KLR braking, I don't think, is adequate for what some of us put this bike through. In order to be loaded with your luggage and have the confidence of knowing if some guy swerves over you, you're going to be able to slam on your brakes and put that to a stop. The stock setup for me would just faded so quickly, overheated very easily, and was just not adequate for most modern riders and what they're going to put this through. So let's take a look. So, all right, now what you're seeing, and I'll give you kind of a front-on view here so you can kind of see how much longer that pad is. If you're looking for a quick comparison, just try to pretend that this only has one piston. So KLR stock pads are about 50% of what this is. The relocation bracket that Eagle Mics sells, top notch. All right, something I want you to notice. Look, you can't scratch it. The material is absolutely top notch. Machined very well. Its kit is good. The hardware that it includes is solid. Highly recommend going to Eagle Mics for this. I just decided to go onto eBay to find a SV caliper. And again, you're going to see how much bigger those pads are compared to a stock KLR one. I'll try to find one and put it side by side here. All right, guys, hopefully you can see that. So on the left, you've got the KLR pad. On the right, you've got the SV650. Hands down, just so much more confidence and snappier in your brakes. I am still running the whatever the heck stock pads that came off of eBay in here. You can see the wear is good. This pad doesn't want to stay in there, which is a little annoying when you're doing front tire repairs. But the other thing, if you can see in there, there's a small little cotter pin that holds this bottom rod. All right, one modification I highly recommend if you're going to put this in the dirt. Hearing it horror story from someone I believe on ADV Rider. But there's a small little cotter pin that essentially holds this rod in, and this rod is what both pads are clipped to. This pad definitely does want to pull out pretty easy. This is your inner one that puts on the caliper. It's a little annoying. Occasionally it wants to pop out, but so did the stock KLR one, so it's really no different. But I would highly recommend safety wiring that. There was a gentleman on ADV Rider, I believe that clip fell off bouncing in the dirt while he was off-roading. Then of course he lost the pad, one or two of them. I don't think you can lose the other one, but you'll definitely lose this inner one. And so then he lost his front brakes, and that's not a good situation. So a little bit of safety wire, so you know the C clip won't, or the little insert clip won't pop off on this very easily. Perfect modification. You can also take a look at the wear. Wear pattern on this is totally even and flawless. Now I will say, because this was just a totally used caliper setup, and it was kind of breaking in on my trip down to California. And then you saw, if you watched my rattlesnake video, you know that I was going down into the canyon and just using a ton of brakes, overheated my brakes to the point where I didn't have any brakes. No fault of my own, really. It was just totally overheated the fluid and used my brakes way too much. GoPro never shows how steep it is, but it was extremely steep, and it was a very long descent into the bottom of that canyon. Once it cooled off, it was good to go. The thing I'll tell you about that, though, is it definitely bedded these pads. Once I hit the highway, holy crap, these brakes were phenomenal after that. So I thought they were great, just coming down, just the normal feel of being on the highway and coming to stop and go traffic and stuff. And after that day of overheating them and really wearing down these so that they lined up with everything, man, I just, hands down, I was like, man, that is sweet. All right, guys, that's a quick current rundown and sort of my review of the Eagle Mic adapter plate and just an SV650 caliper. There goes that pad. Hands down, highly recommend it. It's a little bit of money, but man, it is absolutely the best thing you could do for it. I'm not going to say you're going to be doing endos with this thing, but I haven't tried that yet. I'm pretty sure that you could if you really wanted to, but probably something I wouldn't do with these front forks the way I've got them set up. But highly recommended if you are looking for, you know, the best possible upgrade to a KLR to really bring it up to date with modern bikes that you're going to go out there and spend 10 grand on. Definitely for 40 bucks or 60 bucks, whatever that bracket is, 20 bucks on eBay, I would do it again in a heartbeat. This has been Beast with the, this is the KLR brake modifications videos, part 3. Thanks for watching, guys.